A very good afternoon to one and more present today. As we know, today we are going to have the training session for the Study in Ireland process. So today we have Ms. Aarti Dhar with us. She is going to conduct the product training for the Ireland. Then from the admissions team, we will have Swati. She is team leader from admissions team. She will be helping you through the guiding the process of the admission process and application process. And later the visa process will follow. We will follow the same process as we are following in our training. If you have any question, any queries, any doubts, keep typing them in the chat box so that we can answer all of them towards the end. So to start off with, I'm going to hand over the podium to Ms. Aarti. Over to you, Aarti, for the product training of Ireland.
Thank you so much, Neerja. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Aarti. I'm the branch manager at Delhi head office. And today I'm here to talk about and tell you, a brief introduction about Ireland as a product, why you should encourage students to, go and study in Ireland, what are the advantages of studying in Ireland, what type of universities are present in Ireland, and, so on. Of course, visa team and admission team will help you with other visa related and application related queries. So let's start with the presentation. So I'll start sharing my screen. So I believe all of you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is visible.
Okay. Yes. So let's start Ireland product training. So in this presentation, we are going to talk about Ireland, why Ireland is a suitable location for international students to go and study, facts about Ireland, Ireland education system, top institutions of Ireland, popular courses in Ireland, distance and time difference between different cities of Ireland and from India to different cities of Ireland, lifestyle in Ireland, which will include our part-time work rights and other details, and post-study work rights in Ireland for an international students. Now, this is the physical map of Ireland, wherein you can see 4 states very clearly. So these are 4 provinces. Previously, it was divided into 4 provinces. They were Connaught, Munster, Leinster, and Ulster. However, now, if you see the political map of Ireland, there are 32 countries overall in Ireland. So we can say that Ireland is made up of altogether 32 small countries, which is together called Ireland. Ireland is definitely rated as one of the most friendliest and safest country in the world. Now, this is the placement of Ireland on the world map. And Ireland is the 2nd largest island in the British Isle, 3rd largest island in Europe, and 20th largest island on Earth. Ireland is divided between the Republic of Ireland, formerly named Ireland, which covers 5/6 of the island, and Northern Ireland, which is a part of UK. Now, brief introduction. Prime Minister of Ireland is Mr. Michael Martin, and the monetary unit which is being operational in Ireland is euro. So €1 right now is approximately 81.01 INR. Now we have to keep in mind the currency conversion rates because this is helpful when we are discussing with the students about their financial planning, what all funds are required for tuition fees, living expenditures, travel expenditures. So having an brief information about ongoing currency rate is always helpful while counseling the students. National language is Irish and English. So the population is approximately 0.50 crores. The capital city is definitely Dublin. Popular cities for international students other than Dublin, where there are good education options, they are Cork, Galway, Limerick, Waterford, Kilkenny, etc. National animal is Irish hare. Now this slide show you the seasons of Ireland. Typically there are 4 seasons. Winter, which is between December to February. The temperature ranges between 4 degrees to 6 degrees Celsius, and January being the coldest month. Then comes spring, which ranges between March and May, and the average temperature in spring is 8 degrees to 12 degrees Celsius. After spring comes summer. June to August summer season is there, and the average temperature is between 16 to 20. And then comes autumn. Autumn is between September to November, and in this duration the temperature is between 14 degrees to 18 degrees Celsius. So the temperature is normally warmer during summer and autumn. However, spring also has decent temperature. Now, time difference. So Ireland follows daylight saving process. So because of which, similar to UK, Ireland also is 4.5 hours behind Indian Standard Time in summers and 5.5 hours behind in winters. So it is similar to UK. So in summers it's 4.5 hours only, and in winters it is 5.5 hours behind Indian Standard Time. Okay, so now Ireland. Why Ireland could be a great choice? So there are several factors that make Ireland a very attractive destination for international students. One could be low education cost, and reason being, the bachelors are generally for 3 years, similar to what India has. So the BScs, BCom, BA, this is all for 3 years, unlike US and Canada, which they provide bachelors for 4 years. High visa success rate. So if your all documentation, your funds are all on place, so visa success rate is pretty good in Ireland. Part-time jobs are available, and international students are allowed to work part-time in Ireland, and there are a lot of companies available, so part-time jobs are also available, and international students always get good benefits, experience, exposure from these part-time jobs. European hub for many IT and pharmacy companies. Dublin is the kind of Silicon Valley of Europe. So you name the IT company and the pharma company, even the financial companies also, they have the hub in Dublin or one or the other cities of Ireland. So this makes the country highly employable for these people, students who are studying particularly these courses. Now, post-study work rights of 2 years for PG students. So after the course completion, PG courses are for 1 year, and so that is why the cost is again effective. So you will complete your masters in 1 year rather than 2 years in comparison to other countries. So masters completion will give you 2 years of post-study work rights, and an undergrad degree completion will give you 1 year of post-study work right in Ireland. IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, all English tests are acceptable by Ireland University. So it is not really required to go for only IELTS or only PTE. You can go for either of it, whichever exam you feel comfortable with, and the universities will give you admission, and there will be no problem with the visa processing also for the same. World-class education, the universities, although Ireland has very limited number of universities, but majority of them have very high rank in QS World Ranking. So world-class education is there for sure. Professors are highly qualified, and students across the globe are coming to have the education from there. Now, multicultural environment, of course, if students are coming from different countries, so the culture is always good. Students are, interacting with a lot of people across the globe, and the environment is very friendly for international students. So let's talk about some facts which make Ireland a very attractive destination. Now, Ireland's education system is amongst the best in the world. It is ranked in the top 10 globally as an education system that meets the needs of a competitive economy. Ireland is a stable, competitive, secure, and pro-business country with the fastest growing economy in the Eurozone. Ireland ranks first globally for attracting and retaining international talent. Now, this is the point that is very important for us, and you can always pitch in for students who are considering different countries, and has Ireland in one of his as one of their options. Now, proportionally, Ireland has the fourth highest international workforce in the EU. Ireland has world-class universities with quality education and superb infrastructure. Most of the universities in Ireland have massive campuses that are spread over acres of land. These campuses have buildings for different fields of studies, sports centers, big libraries, student accommodation, playing field, grocery shops, etc. It is world's second largest exporter of software. So we have to keep this also in mind. Ireland universities are known for their computer and software related programs. Some universities, I would like to add here that some universities in Ireland provide scholarships up to 100% on the basis of academic mark, SOPs, and letter of references. So these are some facts about Ireland, why and how you should promote Ireland as an attractive study destination. Although now Ireland has definitely picked up the market and people have started applying to many universities in Ireland, and the number of students traveling to Ireland has increased. Now let's do a country comparison, and we will compare on different parameters. One is economical, that will be the fee structure, or then master's duration, English proficiency test, visa approval rate, and spouse visa approvals. And the countries that we are comparing are UK, Ireland, and Canada. So UK, the tuition fees ranges between 11 to 18 lakhs per year. Ireland, the tuition fees is between 8 to 12 lakh per year. Canada, the tuition fees ranges between 8 to 10 lakh rupees. Master's duration in the UK and Ireland is for 1 year. However, in Canada, master's duration is for 2 years. English proficiency test, UK English test is not mandatory. In Canada, of course, it is mandatory. However, we have to note that in Ireland also it is mandatory. So, but then unlike Canada, where for SDS visa, as you all must have got the training by now, IELTS is required for SDS visa. But in Ireland, there is nothing like that. You can take up IELTS, you can take up PTE, you can take up TOEFL, whichever English test you are comfortable with and your university accepts. And all these tests are being accepted by universities. Now, visa approval rate, all these three countries have good visa approval rate. Spouse visa approval, here I would definitely like to point out this information that you have to keep in mind, that UK has a good spouse visa approval rate and Canada has a we can say poor spouse of visa approval rate, because that has to be applied separately and have a whole waiting time altogether. In Ireland, spouse visa or dependent is not allowed. However, if you wish to go, you can go take a tourist visa, go and meet your family members and come back. So this point is a point which you keep in mind while counseling or pushing Ireland to students. Okay, so Ireland education system. So Ireland education system is similar to what we see in India. Primary education is still year 8. Secondary education is there. And then after the 12th or secondary education, the students are diverted. The local students are either going for further education, that could be technical or vocational, and there are tertiary institutions wherein universities, Institute of Technologies, colleges of education, NUI colleges. NUI means National University of Ireland colleges. There are different colleges under NUI, and these colleges provide different type of courses and diplomas for students, domestic students primarily, because in Ireland the application will be processed for degrees. So NUI colleges degree diplomas would majorly for domestic students and independent colleges. So we as an international advisors or agencies have to consider universities and Institute of Technologies as our prime focus to put on applications. Now, type of tertiary institutes in Ireland. Universities, they are government funded, offer degree programs at bachelor's, master's and doctorate level. Profit, not-for-profit, private, not-for-profit colleges. These are private and independent, and they offer programs at bachelor's and master's level. Institute of Technologies, which are also called ITs. So Institute of Technologies are also, there are several Institute of Technologies in Ireland wherein students are going for degrees and especially, of course, technology related degrees and getting visas, and after that getting good jobs. So these they have programs of education and training in business, science, engineering, linguistics and music to certificate, diploma and degree levels. So all these courses are there in these institutions. Then there is College of Education, which specializes in training for primary school teachers. Now we'll talk about the intakes. So there are typically two main intakes. One is fall intake, which is September intake, and another one is spring intake, which is January intake. Majorly the undergrads are only at fall intake. Very few will get undergrad applications or undergrad options open for January intake. So we have to keep that in mind also, similar to what UK follows. Otherwise, few private colleges might have an April intake also. For masters, majority of the program are in fall intake and January intake. So we have to keep on checking the website for the exact intake of each courses because that's clearly mentioned on the website. So it is not mandatory that every master program is available in January also. However, September, yes, all of them are available. So we have to check the website and then commit to the student about the next available intake if fall intake is being missed by the student. Now, if you see this map, it shows some universities in Ireland, the distribution. Of course, Dublin is the hub for sure. And majority of the development happening is going around Dublin, but then other areas are also good enough to go and study. Now, popular universities or good ranked universities of Ireland are National University of Ireland, NUI, Galway, University College Dublin, UCD, Trinity College Dublin. I'm sure all of you must have heard about UCDs, Trinity, NUIs. Then there is University of Limerick, University College Cork, Maynooth University, Dublin College University. So there are other universities also, but these are few highly ranked universities. Now, in the beginning of the presentation, I told you that initially Ireland was divided into 4 provinces. So majorly the institutions are concentrated in 3 provinces, Munster, Leinster and Connaught. So I'll just go through the list of universities which are in Munster. So Munster province has University of Cork, University of Limerick, Limerick Institute of Technology, Atlantic Aviation Institute. Leinster has Trinity, since Leinster has Dublin city inside that province, so you will see all the Dublin colleges and universities here. Trinity College Dublin, University College Dublin, Dublin City University, Maynooth University, Dundalk Institute of Technology, Technological University Dublin, which is called TUD, and Institute of Technology Carlow, Athlone Institute of Technology, AIT, National College of Ireland, Dublin, Dublin Business School, Griffith College, IBAT College, Dublin. Now, Connaught has National University of Ireland, Galway, Institute of Technology, Sligo or IT Sligo, Galway Business School, Shannon College of Hotel Management. It is a part of NUI Galway College. So these are the typical universities wherein students go and study, international students go and study. Popular courses. this list names only few. However, of course, these are the most popular courses. So in Ireland, however, the universities and colleges have a list of courses which a student can study. It covers almost all the programs in different sectors also, but the popular ones would be business analytics, digital marketing, artificial intelligence, engineering, data analytics, cybersecurity. However, we must include here financial degrees, because financial and pharmaceutical companies are equally active in Dublin. Now, if you see this slide, you will see how important Ireland is in the job market, in the company's presence. So Ireland is chosen by 9 out of 10 top US technology companies. All of the top 10 pharmaceutical company offices are present in Ireland, typically Dublin. The top 5 global software companies are present in Dublin, or you can say Ireland. Now, 14 out of top 15 medical technology companies have their offices in Ireland. 8 out of top 10 industrial automation companies are present in Ireland. 8 out of top 10 financial service companies are present in Ireland. So I hope you can understand how good is the job market of Ireland, particularly in these sectors. So the student who are going for these kind of programs will definitely have good job profiles. However, this is not the only areas where you can get the job. People of other areas are also getting job, which includes definitely HRM, marketing, because all these companies require these kind of people. Finance and accounting is anyways there. So various sectors, job vacancies are there in Ireland. So let's talk about the difference in distance and time from Ireland to from Dublin, different cities of Ireland from India. So Dublin is 7,869 kilometers away from India, and the shortest flight take 10 hours and 12 minutes to reach. Belfast, which is in UK, is 7,826 kilometers from India, and time by flight is 13 hours and 55 minutes. Cork, it is approximately 8,000 kilometers from India, and the shortest flight take 14 hours and 5 minutes. Limerick is 8,000 kilometers away from India, and the shortest flight take 13 hours and 40 minutes. Kilkenny is 7,946 kilometers, and the time taken by the shortest flight is 10 hours and 43 minutes. Derry, it's 7,900 kilometers away from India, and the time taken by the shortest flight is 10 hours and 12 minutes. Galway is 8,053 kilometers away from India, and the time taken by flight is 10 hours and 50 minutes. So these are the, and we see here time difference is 5.5 hours I have written here. So as I have already discussed that in summers it is 4.5 hours behind, and in winters it is 5.5 hours behind. So I'll discuss the distance and the time difference within Ireland, different cities of Ireland from Dublin. So here I have taken cities: Dublin to Belfast, Dublin to Galway, Dublin to Cork, Dublin to Limerick, Dublin to Derry, and Dublin to Kilkenny. Now Dublin to Belfast, which is in Northern Ireland, which is under in UK, is 141 kilometers from Dublin, and is by car it takes 1 hour and 45 minutes, and by flight it takes 3 hours and 50 minutes. Now Dublin to Galway is 44 minutes by flight and 2 hours and 8 minutes by car. However, the distance is 208 kilometers from Dublin. Now Cork is 240 kilometers from Dublin, and by flight it takes 3 hours and 45 minutes, and by car it takes 2 hours and 43 minutes. Limerick is 175 kilometers away from Dublin, and it is 43 minutes by flight and by car it takes 1 hour and 59 minutes, approximately 2 hours. Derry is 200 kilometers away from Dublin, and it is 1 hour and 25 minutes away by flight, and by car it takes 2 hours and 46 minutes. Kilkenny is 123 kilometers away from Dublin, and it is 38 minutes by flight and 1 hour and 26 minutes by car. There is no time difference between these cities as they all follow Irish Standard Time. So, yeah. Now, very important slide. This is a lifestyle or the kind of annual expenditure an international student bear in Ireland. As we see, the major expense in any of the country, wherever we go, the major expenses of rentals. So if we calculate rentals, utilities, food, books, clothes, travel, mobile, and social life, so annual expenditure of an international student ranges can go up to 12,000 euros. So this is what an international student need to show funds also. So variable between 8,000 euros to 12,000 euros, depending on the kind of expenditure the student occurs, or the city also where the student is going. So then we can conclude from this slide that average living expenditure is approximately 12,000 euros for an individual who's going to Ireland for studies. Indian food is available, easily available in Ireland. So now many of the Indians or Bangladeshis are running food stalls and restaurants in Ireland, and people really do not have much of a challenge now as far as food is concerned. Okay, now part-time work rights. International students are allowed to work part-time legally in Ireland. Okay, now we have to keep a note of the duration where the students can work full-time and when the students can work part-time when they are there on the student visa. Now, all the bachelor's and master's degree students can work 20 hours a week when their semesters are on. And there are, declared time frames during the year by Ireland government wherein the students can work full-time, and this is a pre-declared thing. So we have to keep a note and tell the student, discuss with them when they can work full-time. Full-time means 40 hours per week. So these are June, July, August, September. So these are the months wherein the students have semester breaks, and they are allowed to work full-time. And summer break, winter break, 15 December to 15th of January. So during these two time only the students can work full-time, rather than otherwise across the year the students will be working 20 hours a week. Now minimum wages for an international student is currently 9.15 euros per hour. Post-study work rights. Now, post-study work rights could be 1 year or 2 year depending on your course. So as I discussed earlier, if you are doing a bachelor's, the post-study work right would be for 1 year. If you are doing the master's, the post-study work right would be for 2 years. So once you do your bachelor's or master's, you get stamp 2 visa. Once you get your education completed, you get work permit of 1 to 2 years, which is stamp 1G visa. And in due course of time, once you are done with your post-study work rights, you apply for your work permit. And in due course of time, the students or the workers go ahead and apply for green card, which is the citizenship of Ireland. So yes, Ireland could be a positive country wherein in due course of time students get their residencies or green card. So with this I conclude my presentation, and definitely I will take up all the questions after the end of the session. If you still have any doubts in mind or any question, please keep on writing in the chat box.
Thank you, Aarti.
Thank you so much.
So now we start off with the admission process. To start off with the admission process, we have Swati from the admission team. She's going to take you through the admission and the application process. Over to you, Swati.
Thank you, Nirja. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'll just share my screen for the Ireland admission process. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. So first we'll start off with the generic entry requirements for Ireland. At undergrad level, the duration of a bachelor degree can be from 3 to 4 years, and the percentage requirement can vary from 70 to 80%, and the IELTS required is 6.5, no band below 6. At master's level, the degree duration would be of 1 year. The percentage required is of 55% to 75%, depending upon the university. And the IELTS requirement would be 6.5, no band below 6. Types of English proficiency test. So in Ireland also, like other countries, IELTS, PT and TOEFL all are acceptable. Here is a sample of IELTS, PT and TOEFL just for your reference. Application assessment. So these are the factors, the basic factors on which any application is assessed. First, we check the eligibility of the student, the academics and English proficiency, how much scores they've got in their last qualification, and the scores they have achieved in the IELTS, the English test, IELTS, PT or TOEFL. Background, in which we check the educational background of the student, if they're applying for a relevant program or not. Work experience, if student has any work experience, then we require the documents. Gap in studies, if a student has gap of 6 months or an year, then they can justify in the SOP, but if they have gap of more than an year, then they will have to submit some documentary proof of what they were doing during that period. Process flow, this is a process flow like for all the countries. Once you shortlist the university, you need to take all the documents from the student, and along with the application form, you have to assign the application to us on CRM. For undergrad, we require the application form, 10th and 12th mark sheet and passing certificate, English proficiency test, and passport copy. For masters, we require the bachelor degree mark sheets and passing certificate, 10th, 12th, backlog certificate if applicable, uh, English test, work experience documents if applicable, and passport copy. Other supporting documents that are required for Ireland application are SOP. The SOP should be university and course specific for which the student is applying. It shouldn't be a generic SOP. CV and 2 LORs. Once you get all the documents, assign it to us on CRM, and if possible, upload the documents in one PDF. After getting the application, we will assess it and we will let you know within 48 hours if there is any pending, or if there's no requirement, then we will process the application to the university. After we submit the application to the university, we'll wait for their outcome of the application. After submitting the application and the student can either get a conditional offer letter, an unconditional offer letter, or a rejection. If the student gets a conditional offer letter, then they need to meet all the conditions as mentioned in the offer. If they get an unconditional offer letter, the student has to pay the acceptance fee. After paying, it would be mentioned in the offer letter, it can be of $500, it can be of $1,000. After paying that fee, the student will get a fee receipt from the institute, and then they can apply for visa. Here is a sample of application form. On your left, there is a sample of a completely filled application form, and on your right, incomplete application form. So if you want to avoid any delays in the application, then we request you to provide completely filled application forms so that we can submit the application in one go. Backlogs, as mentioned in our previous presentations, backlog certificate is issued by the academic institution of the student, which has the details about their backlogs. So if a student has any backlogs, then they need to provide this certificate. Here on your left is a sample of a offer letter given by an Ireland institute, and on the right there is a fee receipt. After student pays the fee, the initial deposit as mentioned on the offer letter, student will get this fee receipt from the institute. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Sati. Thank you very much. And now we have the small presentation from the visa team. So for visa, we have Shubhodeep from the visa team. He will be guiding you which all the requirements are there for the visa and how the funds are going to be calculated. So Shubhodeep, over to you.
Thank you, Nirza. Good afternoon, everyone. So, I should Shubhadeep. Now, I will share my presentation for the visa document and the funds requirement for Ireland. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, Shubhadeep, it's visible.
Yes.
Okay. So today's training will be divided into two parts as usual. Visa basically funds and the financial document and the visa documentations. So first, let's go to the calculations. So student visa fees, we need to apply only multiple entry category. Single entry category is not allowed for the student visa. That is INR 9,000 is the visa fees. Now for the calculation, as usual, we will be calculating for 1 year fees only. So living, so tuition fees is depend on the university, and they will mention that on the letter of acceptance, or you can say offer letter. Living cost here is varies, like 7,000 to 12,000. So if someone is staying in the Dublin city, the living cost will be 12,000. That is the maximum. And if it is in the outskirts, then it comes to 7,000. So this we need to add these things, and whatever the amount student has paid or he have received a scholarship, we will subtract that amount, and remaining amount we need to show for the visa purpose. So now come to the checklist. What we all require for the for lodging application is original valid passport, color copy, and also require the old and the current one, all pages. Letter of acceptance from the university and the colleges, student information sheet, as already informed earlier, that this is a sheet that has been made by us because few of the information is not will be not available on the documents that we will be requiring for lodging the file. NDVO, it's an supplementary application form that is the New Delhi visa office required. Proof of payment or registration or tuition fees, that you have made the payment, the university will issue a tuition fee receipt, that will be required. Financials will be required. So if you are providing the statements, so statement minimum tenure of the statement should be 6 months. If it is education loan, so it should be on the in the name of the student, and it's on the property mortgage. No other form of loan is acceptable. FD is also acceptable, but it should be of a minimum 6-month-old FD, and the tenure of FD must be 1 year. 2 passport size photograph, 80% focus on face, and should have the white background or the light color background. SOP, that is statement of purpose. Basically, here student need to mention why he wants to go Ireland, why particular university, why this course, and how this course will help him or her in getting their desired dream. And if there is any gap or employment, they need to mention that too. Academics and English test, that is whatever the document they have submitted for getting admission in the institution, will be requiring those academic documents at 10, 12, and is going for master, then graduation. And if it is going for graduation degree, then 10th and 12th will be sufficient. IELTS, TOEFL, PT, whatever accepted by the university will be accepted by the High Commission House. Here you need to purchase a medical insurance coverage of 50,000. And there is a division. The 25,000 euros was covered for the hospitalization and 25,000 for diseases. Affidavit of sponsor and self-affidavit. Self-affidavit already, as already explained by my colleagues and me, that it is for us, not for the High Commission, neither for the university. Sponsor affidavit format will be shared by us. So you just need to complete those gaps, we were sponsoring and what the income and all those things that we mentioned. ID of sponsors. Basically, you can see the PAN card of the sponsors or Aadhaar card or the passport copy of the sponsor. Sponsor may be the parents. Police clearance certificate. This is PCC in short form in India, and that's need to be get from the passport office, not from the police station. Income proof, that ITR is required. Other supporting document, if parents is employed in the salary slip, is required for that along with the ITR. Property valuation is optional. If student want to provide, they can. So additional document that is required if student is under 18, along with the previous mentioned checklist. That's our birth certificate, a consent letter from the legal guardian of the parents, and accommodation proof where they will stay in Ireland. So you need to book the, either you can book in the university hostel or you can book the local hostels also. Few things that student or you should remember, or initially you need to inform the student that they must apply their visa within the time frame is from 4 months to 3 weeks before the course start date. You shouldn't apply the visa before 4 months or after 3 weeks from the course start date. Ensure all the original documents that will be submitted at VFS. So that need to be submitted along with the copy. Else original will come. Make sure under 18 student, if student is under 18, his parents or her parents cannot travel with them. Any false or misleading information submitted to the High Commission cause a refusal, and they may be banned for 5 years. And one more thing is very important. They always treat every application as like first come first serve. They don't assess the application if the course start is nearby. They will assess your application on the basis of the time or the tenure or the date of submission. And all the original, so all the document that is you can see in a local language, original language needs to be translated in English and accompanied by the notary attested. So with the minimum processing time is 15 working days. So we need to apply by keeping in this mind. And as I already informed that we need to apply under multiple entry, that and the visa fees will be 9,000 INR. Visa fee service charges, that is VFS charges, is 3,518, and both the fees are subject to change, and we will inform accordingly. Total process is like as the process is same for every country, is that once you complete the document and get your offer from the university, you need to collect all the document as per the checklist. You need to share with us. We will assess those documents, and if required, we will re-verify the funds. We're sending the mail, and if there is any pending, we will be getting back to you through mail. And Once we get the reward from your side along with the pending documents, we will reassess. And if seems good, we will lodge the file and wait for the outcome. That's all from my side. It's open for your queries. Thank you.
All right, now we open the floor for the question answers round. We have few questions in the chat box. Though a multicultural society, there are reports of frequent racism and discrimination, be it in university or at the workplace, which is a matter of concern for the prospects. I think Aarti would like to answer this query.
Yes, see, a bit of these kind of reports are there where you see across the globe, no matter what country we talk about. But then, yes, students should, have to be understanding which all areas they should avoid. But generally, students are safe, and universities definitely do make arrangements to assure the safety of students. And in due course of time, students do understand which all areas they should avoid, they should not go, and things like that. However, when we see these kind of reports across the globe, we come across such reports at one or the other time of the, of our life. So the students just have to be smart and focused on studies. So as such, there is no, we have not come across any of the students complaints wherein they say that, okay, I could not survive because I have to face a lot of racism. No, there are lots and lots of people, Indians especially, living, working, even many of them have got their work, residencies, married, settled. So I think that this is little bit is present everywhere. Any country we talk about, we say Canada, we say Australia, we say US, bit of it is everywhere. But then of course there are people, majority of them are friendly, happily accepting students. So I don't think this is a major concern at this point of time in any of the countries.
All right.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I think yeah, this is the answer, because we have not come across any person who has told us that I could not survive there because there's a lot of racism. No. So yeah, people do get adjusted to lifestyle, and we have to mark our own boundaries wherein we have to say yes or no to things.
All right. So the next question is, what should be the file size maximum? You said all should be in one PDF. I think they are talking about the uploadation of data in CRM.
Yes, the maximum file size can be of 10 MB.
All right. So here I would suggest that you can scan them all. And if the size is going above 10 MB, you can divide it into 2 to 3 files, depending on the requirement.
Yes.
Right? And during the CRM training, we are going to explain you how you're going to upload all your documents. So you will be able to see more about it during our session on Wednesday for the CRM training. And Priyadarshini is having a question. Do we have post-PhD programs? Now here I would like to clear to everybody the programs like PhD, law, and medicines. We need to have a discussion before giving any such kind of program to any of the students. So for the post-PhD, I think Aarti will be able to help you more.
Post PhD programs, doctor level program, your PhD is the courses wherein you will get visas. So PhD or doctorate program is the program, highest level program for which you can get visa, and these are all research based courses. So above that, though, I'm not really sure, because after PhDs, the visas, I don't think students have ever applied. Also, PhD is the program highest level wherein they apply and have got visas for sure. Now, PhDs, again, similar to what other countries follow, getting a scholarship or no scholarship is not in anybody's hand. It is university's decision, but universities do give scholarships, so students can apply. If they get the offers, then application and visa could be done. So yes,
Okay. The reason I was asking is because I have my real brother doing postdoc in Canada. He recently shifted to Canada in May. So
Hmm.
after his interview with that University of Guelph in Ontario,
Mhm.
the process started off. So although it took around more than a month or so for visa, and he was the one who also visited Ireland for
Hmm.
a short, I think, conference, I suppose, for a week or so. So that was the reason I was trying to check out if we have this post PhD.
So these, so when we say these kind of courses, we need to, refer to the university websites. Of course, there are old universities, huge universities, highly ranked QS ranked universities available in Ireland. But when we say these kind of courses, we need to go and check on the website that whether they are giving these kind of courses or not. However, the process would be similar to what your brother must have followed for Canada. It will be similar, but the website page says all, and what all process you have to follow, what all documents you have to mail, so I think referring website for the respective course the person is looking at would be a best idea.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any further queries we have? You can raise your hand, unmute yourself and get your queries resolved.
I just wanted to know whether the distances mentioned are from Delhi or from any other town, any city.
Oh, in the presentation, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from Delhi. Yeah, it's from
Okay,
Delhi.
yeah. Thank you.
All right.
And at times you see the road timings are lesser and flight is more. That's because within the small cities of the country direct flights are not really there. So by road you can reach in 2 hours, but flight might take 3.5 hours or 4 hours because that might be going from via or with one stop. So that could be a reason wherein you will find it a shorter duration by car and longer duration by flight. So being a small country, the small cities are not like Delhi, Mumbai. It's not like Delhi, Mumbai. So frequency of flight is also less. So at times it is through 1 or 2 stops. So that's why it takes more time and road takes less time. So at times people prefer to drive. As you know, the infrastructure is very well developed. So, and it's a beautiful country. Scene wise, scenery is very good. So people definitely prefer to travel also by car. So yeah, so that is why there is a difference in flight and, car timings, travel timings.
All right. Any further questions we have? If not, then thank you very much everyone for joining in. And we will meet again for Monday with the Aarti so that we can take up the training for study in UK and proceed further with our training sessions in the next week. So thank you everyone for joining in. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you and bye.